What up, though, ladies and gents? Welcome back to session 3 of our sexual education all-inclusive course. In today's session, we're going to be discussing sex and gender, one of the most controversial topics of the past 2 to 3 years. But today, we're going to break down the difference of the two, what they are and what they're not. So first, let's take a look at sex. Sex is essentially the identification assigned at birth based on a biological and physiological aspect of this new human baby. When assigned as female, it means that the person has a female reproductive system, which includes a vagina, ovaries, ovum, and a uterus. It also includes the hormones associated with the female reproductive system, such as estrogen and progesterone. When assigned as a male, the person has a male reproductive system, which includes a penis, which includes testes. When assigned as male, this means the person has a male reproductive system, including testes, a penis, the prostate, and for their hormones, the testosterone hormone. Then there's intersex, the third sex. Most people tend to forget about it, but it's very common, or more common than people think. This is assigned to people who are born with sex characteristics that do not fit into the typical category of male and female. There are many cases of intersex, but the two most common conditions of intersex are Klinefelter and Turner syndrome. Klinefelter is a mutation that occurs in chromosomal development, which gives 2 X chromosomes and a Y chromosome instead of just a Y and an X chromosome. Like the Klinefelter syndrome, Turner syndrome is a mutation of the last chromosome set, leaving an X chromosome and a O. The O means nothing is there, means they only have 1 X chromosome. So now that we know a little bit about sex and sex assignment, let's take a look at gender. While you may be wondering if what we just talked about was sex, then what the heck is gender? Well, gender refers to a person's characteristics that are categories of male, female, both, or neither. It is no less than a social construct. Because gender can be fluid and has a wide spectrum, you may identify as cisgender, transgender, agender, bigender, or gender fluid. Think of gender like this. It's essentially the way you carry yourself or self-presentation, as Crash Course explained it. This is known as gender expression. While it's also how you identify yourself, gender identity refers to the person's internal sense of their gender. Let's break down some of the gender categories that there are. Cisgender. Cisgender is a person who identifies with the sex that they were assigned to at birth. If you are female and you identify as a female, gender-wise, you are cisgender. Transgender is a person who identifies not of the sex that they were assigned to at birth. If you're assigned sex at birth as female, but you identify as a male, you're transgender. Agender is a person who essentially does not have a gender or doesn't identify with a gender. In other words, this person may be gender neutral or genderless. Bigender is a person who fluctuates between male and female based behaviors and identities. Gender fluid is a mix of male and female gender identities. While it is similar to bigender, gender fluid is when you can feel a mix of both, and you could feel like more male one day and female the next day. Then there's genderqueer. It's an umbrella term that identifies people with non-conforming or non-binary identities, which means they may not feel like either, but expresses themselves however they feel fit. That being said, remember to respect everyone for who they are, educate yourself on the topic rather than just assuming. It's okay to ask questions if you're unsure, but please be respectful in doing so. Well, that's all for today, peeps. Stay safe out there.